everyone. Welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaCroix Scott, and today we are reviewing Twisters.
You watched Twister
Yes.
in the day, okay? And
I had that movie on VHS.
Okay.
I brought that movie to school with me.
Wow.
And I think I got in trouble because it was a PG-13, but there was a shit in it.
That's worth getting in trouble.
I didn't really get in trouble. It was just like, my teacher was like, oh, you're not picking the movie of the week anymore.
Still worth it. I remember watching it when it came out. I didn't have like strong feelings about it one way or the other. I mean, I think it was a good action sort of romance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Glenn Powell's having a moment,
Yes.
or like several moments back to back consecutively, because he just did Hitman.
Yeah.
And he was, of course, in Top Gun Maverick. And then he was in that movie where he was a pilot in a different scenario. Can't remember what it's called. But anyway, he was a pilot. And then he is also part of like either produced or directed or something, a documentary about the Blue Angels, which is available on some streaming network. So he's got a lot going on these days, which great for him. Oh, and anyone but you also.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So like a lot of Glenn Powell exposure.
Yeah.
So, and Twisters, which Daisy Edgar Jones, who we saw in Fresh, and we did a review of Fresh. So
wait, she was in Fresh?
Did we do a review? We should have if we did not.
No, I think we did do Fresh. I just don't remember her in Fresh.
Was she not the lead in Fresh?
She probably was, and I wasn't paying attention. I just remember her like from the poster of where the Crawdads sing, because I never saw that movie.
I saw that movie. It's okay that you didn't.
Okay.
And then, which I want to see but have not, which you do not want to see because of Paul.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that guy. I'm going to somehow see Gladiator 2.
I'll believe it when I see it.
But yeah. Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones. Oh my gosh, the guy from Hamilton. He plays Javier. He's actually in the original Hamilton, and then he's in the Heights.
Yes, he plays Usnavi. I can't remember his name, but yes, also good.
Kiernan Shilpa is also in this, and she was in Longlegs. Spoiler alert: she's not in this movie for very long.
I was gonna say, was she?
She's, the people that you have to set up to show the impact of the put in dire situations.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you. I didn't think that anything in this movie. I mean, I felt like it was very predictable. Like I could see, like, when we started the movie, she has a boyfriend. You're like, that guy's not going to make it.
Yeah. He's too handsome to make it.
He's too handsome. And we got to open the door for the Glenn Powell character. So like, for sure, I know that guy's not making it. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed in terms of the story of this.
I mean, I kind of went into this with no expectations. I was like, this is just going to be your run-of-the-mill popcorn summer film where we will see some terrible CGI or we'll see an upgrade since the last one. I think Twister wasn't a feat in terms of story. I think it was interesting for me as a kid because of the technology, like the special effects. Because literally seeing a cow like in the air is fascinating. But in this case, it was like, well, how much can you push CGI? And I just felt like, one, it really didn't showcase anything else, like much. And, I guess what were they trying to say with this film? Because there was a lot going on. But I just knew I wasn't going to learn anything out of this it was entertaining.
For sure. It was candy, and it fulfilled its purpose as candy. I did like, well, let's go in the slides. I did like the tornado swirling through the power plant. Because it's not ever, I guess I've never thought about it. Like, what would happen if a tornado hit a power plant? Like,
yeah,
that would be devastating. Otherwise, yeah, I just felt like there's nothing to think about in this movie, which is fine.
I mean, I felt like you kind of even saw where it was going to go, who the villain was going to be, who the like actual good guy is, like, you know. But what I do have to say is that they did so much promotion for this. You know, they show the dog in like a TikTok video and all that stuff. And in this movie, spoiler alert, you do not see the dog. It's referenced. And I was like, oh, they're going to show the dog. It's going to be cute. No, there's no dog in this film. I was very disappointed.
What I also thought was interesting is when they were hiding in the movie theater, and that side of the theater gets ripped off by the storm. And so then it becomes a theater, like you're watching the storm as if it were a movie. I thought that was a very interesting visual.
Yeah.
So I guess the two visuals I was impressed by.
Well, they did that with the first film, because in the first film, it was a drive-in and they're watching The Shining. And the tornado starts to pull away at like certain areas, you know, certain scenes of that movie. And it was like, oh, that's really cool. And they were like outside. So you couldn't almost shelter properly. And in this case, you had two scenarios with which they're telling people to like find shelter and all this other stuff. And you would think that they would have a basement or a facility with which people could shelter, and they just didn't. So it was like, oh, this is like storm of the century, category 5. And you're hanging on to like bolted in chairs, or like you have to find a pool. And I was like, there is no way.
Right. It wasn't a realistic movie. I didn't feel like, but
I didn't come for realism.
Right. I'm going to watch Deadpool later. So who am I to talk about realism?
I mean, he's a real guy. No, just, you know, it's great. Popcorn, I think that it's appealing to all. You know, there's some funny moments. I can't recall them.
I don't know. I don't feel like I would recommend this to people. And I don't feel like I would. I don't.
If you like Glenn Powell, if you are a fan of Scream Queens, which that was my first introduction to him, which was a Ryan Murphy, like campy, almost like Heathers meets Halloween meets... It's very like campy drama and then like horror. He's in that as this complete frat guy called named Chad Raswell. And I remember watching it. And that was like my pandemic watch. And I was just like, this guy plays camp so good. Like, it's a real shame that he's doing like television like this, and nobody knows who he is. Oh, and guess what? Now he's everywhere. And he, you know, so I was like, oh, this is good for him. But the way that I know him, he was like literally flirting with Niecy Nash and like, and Emma, what's her name?
Roberts?
Yeah, Emma Roberts, like, you know, playing opposite of her. And it's a murder mystery who done it. And he's kind of like a total bro. So
do you have anything to plug in this episode?
More movies coming for the summer. We're entering, I guess, Deadpool season. And more like, yeah, I guess this is part of the Sony Marvel crossover universe. And then I'm very much looking forward to Beetlejuice. Right now is San Diego Comic-Con, and I see a lot of these activations that are happening. And one is some Beetlejuice stuff happening, as well as like they've done, you know, some promo for the new Fantastic Four that has Pedro Pascal in it. There's a Deadpool panel. There's What We Do in the Shadows panel. A lot of things I feel like will be coming out in the next few weeks leading up to the fall movie season.
Very exciting. All right. Thanks everyone for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.